Booyaka booyaka, Rey Mysterio 619, West Coast Pop, baby. Rey Mysterio in the house, jumping through the Titantron. Booyaka.
It was a pop indeed, and we got a lot of big pops tonight. We had Rey Mysterio's SmackDown debut with Brock Lesnar's first appearance on SmackDown since signing a contract with Stephanie McMahon. We had a traitor on SmackDown going to Monday Night Raw with WWE Tag Team titles on the line. The Rock and Hogan in the same team, for God's sake. And a bunch of other big matches, including a steel cage main event. This was an action-packed SmackDown from start to finish. I believe you said WWE has credited this SmackDown as one of the best episodes of SmackDown in the history of the company. And I'm not too sure if I can go that far, but what I can say is it was a great episode indeed.
Yes, it was an absolute great episode indeed, and we knew it for the get-go because Steph McMahon had a weird promo package hyping up the show. It was like, it reminded me of ECW. The way it was all the purple and tonight's show, and then it was going
ECW with a bit of budget.
The Rock and Hogan teaming up. We've got the debut of Brock Lesnar with a steel cage match tonight, and much, much more. And that's even without talking about the fact you've got Kurt Angle having a match against Mark Henry.
World's strongest man versus the world's baldest man.
Yeah, I feel like Mark Henry, obviously what they were going for, Mark Henry's got a lot of offense in him.
Too much offense for my liking.
He's been treated like a jobber, but you know what? Raw did this with Guerrero. And they've done it with numerous people. I feel like they're beginning just to push some of the people that they've already got and be like,
which is good, because that's what the brand split was kind of for. It was to make sure that mid-card talents actually began to get a bit of a push, because if they kept the full roster on both shows, it would have just been all the guys that are currently in the main event. Like, if you look at Edge since the brand split, he's probably flourished out of everyone. I'd probably say maybe the most in terms of a guy going from like mid-card to getting pushed towards the main event. And I just feel like...
And then Brock.
And if they didn't have the brand split, they just wouldn't have had the same amount of opportunities. So, I mean, this is good. Kurt Angle, Mark Henry. Mark Henry dominates, hits all his power moves. Kurt hits a back suplex out the corner. Once Mark Henry misses the running splash, Mark Henry gets back in control. Big gorilla press slam on Kurt Angle, lifting him literally like a baby. Mark Henry, though, looks like he was a bit to overcome Angle. I'm not saying he was going to win, but he was certainly holding his own until the Beast, Brock Lesnar, or we call him here the next big thing, came out and hit a big, massive F5 on Mark Henry, and the ring literally did shake here with the velocity and impact of Mark Henry landing in the middle. No, I'm not even joking. The ring actually was shaking like crazy. It was fucking insane.
Two alpha males going at it.
Then Brock is smiling. He leaves. Kurt Angle is being pissy here. Kurt Angle is furious. He takes Brock to the back. Well, not literally, but he follows Brock to the back.
Carries Brock to the back. What are you doing?
I'll take you out to the woodshed. He confronts Brock. Angle's not happy. Brock's like, what do you mean? I was doing you a fight. And you know what? Brock basically told Heyman to shop here because he wanted to speak to Angle. And I like this. I think Heyman, you don't want Heyman doing all the talking for Brock. I think they definitely need times where Brock speaks for himself. And it's good that Brock's doing this.
And he can talk. Even here he can talk.
Yeah, he tells Angle that he was helping him out because he looked like he was in a bit of trouble there. Brock tells Angle he doesn't need to worry now. He knows there's a lot of expectation on Angle being the number one guy in SmackDown. But guess what, Angle? You're no longer the number one guy. Because I'm here, buddy.
You blew it.
You blew it. Yeah, I wanted to face you at Vengeance. I was hoping it would be me and you, but you blew it, buddy. You lost to The Rock. So Angle didn't take this very well. He stormed off, and then we've seen the camera pan in on Brock with his facial expressions. Very good start to the show. I enjoyed the Kurt Angle, Mark Henry. This was a really good match, and people just don't appreciate this anymore unless, I don't know, I think in 2023, there's this sort of acceptance that unless a match is 25 minutes long and it's got the Young Bucks in it or some shit, it can't be good.
Yeah.
We don't need long matches. We don't need kick-out finishers and all this shit. Sometimes, this was a very good, probably like a 5-6 minute match, but it felt it didn't need to go any longer than that. You basically covered everything in it. And a lot of matches, I think, on SmackDown are like this. SmackDown has definitely been better than Raw for matches since the brand split.
Easily. It easily has been.
The pacing's just right.
No, yeah, it is on the money. Stacey Keibler, though, offers her services to Stephanie McMahon because Finny Mac is no longer there. And he wasn't on this show, Finny Mac.
He wasn't.
Which I'm not happy about.
But Stephanie tells Stacey, don't worry, I'm sure McMahon is already getting his services serviced. So, or getting himself serviced.
Sounds like a car.
Yeah, Finny Mac.
Beep, beep.
Thought they would maybe hint here at maybe some lesbian stuff, but they didn't do that. But Stacey Keibler offers her services. She'll say, I'll assist you in any way you want. The door goes. Stephanie says, well, you can assist me in opening the door. Stacey gets the door. It's flowers for Stephanie McMahon. But it turns out these flowers, they might be beautiful, but they're from Eric Bischoff, and Stephanie doesn't want them, and she wings them at the wall, and the face just breaks into like 1,000 pieces. So, yeah, pretty good segment and a good way to show that Stacey, I guess, now works for Stephanie because she is the new GM and Mr. McMahon ain't here.
Please call my name. Reverend Devon up next against the big Falboski. And Falboski ain't alone. He brings out Hardcore Holly, who's repping a SmackDown t-shirt. And at this point, what is going on with these two?
Leave the SmackDown, and that's pretty much what Hardcore Holly does in all the rookies.
Yeah.
This guy talks about the clique bullying him. Did he take his frustrations out in the new guys then?
It's really embarrassing.
Is that what it is? Is it a pass me down? Did he feel like he got bullied by the clique, so he wanted to bully the young guys? I mean, I remember Kevin Nash reacting to a Hardcore Holly interview where Hardcore Holly says that he basically went into the clique's locker room and confronted them all 4-on-1 and says that he was going to batter them if they didn't leave him alone. And Nash denies this. He said it didn't happen.
He just downed his red wine. I'm like, no.
Although Nash thought it was pretty funny that Sparkplug was going to come in and threaten them 4-on-1, but no, anyway.
Not hoping hell that happened.
Hardcore Holly waited till he was on the opposite show for Nash to start beating up the young guys, so that tells you all you need to know about Hardcore Holly. He did seem like a bully to me.
Oh, he was. You look at Daniel Pudor, you look at I seen the other day trending a chop he did on Orton. That match may have already passed in this timeline, but I mean, he chopped him right in the Adam's apple. Cannot say
that could have ended the match.
Yeah, and there's numerous other examples, man.
Yeah, so just an arsehole.
No, he is, but the big Falboski wins here. He defeats the Reverend Devon. Batista, though, he gets in the ring. He's not too happy, and you can just see the animal Batista here. He's an animal, damn it.
Yeah, beats down Val Phoenix. I don't know, I'd call him Val Phoenix anymore. The big Falboski.
This is definitely a Finny Mac name change. It is. Stacey Keibler is backstage. She's laying down the law. We've got all the security guards. Then Edge walks past, right? And she's like, Edge. But then cut to Christian and Lance Storm. They're prepping for the match. We hate the Americans. It's about time us Canadians won the tag titles. I never thought we'd do it in America, but we done it, damn it.
Yeah, so Stacey Keibler and Stephanie obviously panicking that Bischoff is here. She got the flowers earlier. The note read that SmackDown's loss will be Raw's gain. So straight away, basically, at the start of the show, we have the story that Bischoff is here and he's not leaving alone. He's going to leave with a SmackDown talent. So again, you just got so much stuff going on, and it's good.
Yeah, she thinks it could be Edge, Stephanie McMahon, because Edge is heading for the production truck, but she thought he was heading out the arena. And this segment was easily, I think, the worst thing of the night. I don't know what they were going for. Well, I know what they were going for, but why is Edge putting a countdown timer in the production truck and coming on screen supposed to be a big deal? Why was this hyped up as if it was epic?
Yeah, I mean, if we know the exact time for the main event, does it really do anything? Whether it's an hour and 31 or whether it's like an hour and 27, we know it's the main event. Do we really need a countdown timer here? It just felt unnecessary for me. Edge is taking a tape in to the production truck. You're led to believe that it's going to be something big. Maybe he's going to change Jericho's music or something like this, or do something that's going to change the Titantron, something that's going to make fun of Jericho.
Maybe video proof about who could be going to Raw or something like that.
Yeah, something, anything. Yeah, could it be someone talking to Eric Bischoff? We don't know, but what we get is literally just a wee countdown clock appear, and even then, it's not like it was on the screen for the entire show, which might have been cooler. They literally just showed you it maybe like 2 or 3 times after this. Very needless segment, in my opinion.
It was, Kurt Angle then walks backstage. He's like, Eric. Then Mark Lloyd's like, he was speaking to someone on the phone called Eric. Who could it have been? Turns out it's actually his brother, which we kind of thought at the time, but Eric Bischoff, damn it. That's who everyone else is thinking.
Yeah, Eric Bischoff. We got Eric B. Rikishi versus Albert up next. Bit of a strange match. Haven't seen Albert in a while. It surely can't be long till he's rebranded A-Train.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised this guy just didn't get released. Was A-Train really needed? I know SmackDown went through the period of big guys in about a year's time, but I just never really rated Albert.
No.
And Lord Tensai was god-awful, so...
I didn't like that big hairy chest either.
No. Steph McMahon doesn't have a hairy chest, but she was searching for Kurt Angle, leaving voicemails.
Who doesn't have a hairy head?
No. Rey Mysterio doesn't really have much hair either. He will debut on SmackDown later on. We see him backstage, like, warming up. What do you make of Rey? He kind of did the Eric Bischoff thing here.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the fact that Stephanie McMahon is leaving voicemails on Kurt Angle like she's obsessed. It's almost like they broke up and she's like desperate for Kurt Angle to answer her calls. She's leaving him a lot of voicemails saying, you can't go with Eric, you haven't even heard my side. Basically painting herself in a desperate situation here. Will Kurt Angle ever get to read these voicemails or listen to these voicemails? So that's the...
Oh yeah, he'll be listening, he won't be reading them, but who knows? Kurt Angle's, he's taking a shower, damn it. Kurt Angle is washing his wee baldy dome. And then up next, we've got the Un-Americans taking on Hulk Hogan and The Rock. And I think the placement of this match was off. This is The Rock and Hulk Hogan, and I feel like The Rock had a big presence on Raw, the big segment with Guerrero, the main event, and here he's flung in at the mid-card.
No, I'd say it's about right. It's like top of the hour.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything.
What do you mean?
He does this match and that's it, one and done. It almost just felt like it was completely...
True.
It didn't feel organic to me.
Yeah, there was like no Rock promo. There was no like Rock aftermath. There was no Rock at the start of the show. There was no Rock arriving. It was literally just this one and done segment from The Rock, which was pretty weird. But I mean, the match was all right. Rock got battered. Hogan basically stood on the apron for a long, long time, complaining to the referee that the Un-Americans were cheating. What do you expect, Hulkster? Christian and Lance Storm got a lot of the offense in.
Hogan being cartoonish yet again. The Rock flies over the top because Tess pulled the ropes down. Hogan gets in. He's doing his best Ultimate Warrior impersonation. He's like, he pulled the
referee, look, he pulled the ropes. He pulled the ropes. I mean, Hogan's still living in the 80s here. He gets the hot tag, comes in, lays the smackdown on Lance Storm. Christian misses a big boot, although it was a very small boot. How Christian managed to duck under this, I have no idea. Because he only got the boot up about 3 feet.
Only Hornswoggle would have dodged this.
Yeah, but Christian, fair play to him, managed to duck underneath the small boot for Hogan. Then they do a back suplex on Hogan. Rock gets back up. He hits the rock bottom on Lance Storm. Looks like we could potentially have new champs here. Hogan is about to put Christian away, but then Brock Lesnar, next big thing, makes another big statement, hits an F5 on Hogan. We've seen him F5 Big Show. We've seen him F5 Hogan. I think the F5 to Henry was basically mind games with Kurt Angle. This one to Hogan, I think, was sending a message to The Rock. It's like, I'm coming for your title, and I'm not going to let you win anymore before SummerSlam.
You can tell they're pushing Brock to the moon here.
Yeah, I mean, the guys...
He's interfering with all the stars.
I mean, just look at... See over the past, like, couple of weeks, look at who, even the past week alone, interacting with The Rock, interacting with The Undertaker, interacting with Hulk Hogan, interacting with Kurt Angle, interacting with Tommy Dreamer.
Bischoff, Stephanie. Tommy Dreamer. What am
I take Tommy Dreamer away, but...
Yeah, because he's just a level above all those guys.
ECW legend. ECW, man. Anyway, so yeah, Brock, that was it, and him and The Rock have a little bit of a stare down. We then see Paul Heyman and Brock, they're leaving the arena. There's Hogan's limo. The driver says, this limo ain't for you, it's for Hulk Hogan. Brock's like, well, I'm taking it now. Open the door or I'll kick your ass. And that's enough for this guy to open the door and drive off. Brock Lesnar, Taz asks why his agent can't get him a limo.
Because you're a jobber, that's why.
You're a jabroni. Then we got a very strange John Cena promo. I'm not saying it was bad, but he made fun of Test's teeth, and Test's teeth look alright to me. He made the point that Canadians get free health care.
He does have a bit of a horse face. I think that's what he meant, like his teeth stick out.
Yeah, Canadians have free health care, and it's like, it just felt typical. Normally it's the English they bury with this. William Regal would be on the receiving end, but I guess now it's the Canadians.
You should get some dental health care about.
It's a test that he's ripping, and it just seems like your generic American... Oh, let's belittle another country because we have to fucking pay millions of dollars for everything we do. What's that? Taxes? Healthcare? You know what I mean? Like, you basically... You could... America's fucking weird to the extent, or you could be in an accident, be unconscious, not realise what's happening, wake up in hospital, and before you know it, you're a couple of £1,000 down the drain.
Yeah.
Even though there's nothing wrong with you. You've just been taken from the incident or something.
The land of the free. Nothing fucking free about it.
They probably cause accidents just to try and get people in an ambulance. Look at Walter White in Breaking Bad. He was bricking it. It's like, oh fuck, I can't afford this.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't really know what happened. How sad is that though, right? That you can maybe just have a dizzy turn, fall, wake up in an ambulance, and before you know it, that's you fucked financially.
You could get shot by a criminal, and you're fucked financially.
That doesn't seem fair to me.
No.
Now, I guess maybe if you get shot by a criminal, you can sue and all that stuff, but I don't really get it. John Cena here is trying to make America out to be great because you have to pay for everything. It's like, all right, that's...
Come on, John.
It was a funny promo, like, I just don't remember ever seeing it, but...
Yeah, I think there's a reason why. Anyway, Stephanie McMahon is backstage with Chris Jericho.
Big slap for Test, by the way.
It was, but...
You're supposed to be the face of ruthless aggression. All I see is a little punk, and then slaps the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah, John Cena's teeth's messed up after this. But is Jericho, is he the guy moving to Raw?
Is he moving to Raw? No, Jericho says he's happy here on SmackDown. He's getting to get Edge in a cage. Plus, Fozzy have just released a new CD.
It was a cheap plug.
He gives Stephanie McMahon a copy. I mean, do you think Stephanie McMahon has ever listened to a Fozzy song?
No.
What do you think happened to this CD? Straight in the bin?
Couple
with those flowers?
Aye.
Yeah, anyways, Jericho says he's not going anywhere. So, we know it's not Edge. We know it's not Jericho. Who is going to Raw?
I don't know. No idea.
Up next with the debut of Rey Mysterio, Rey versus Chavo. And I get it, they put Chavo in this match. Oh, Chavo used to be in WCW. You know the luchador style. You and Rey can have a luchador match. But in all honesty, I felt like this was flat. Considering this was Rey Mysterio's debut, I would have liked to have seen more.
Yeah. I've been burying Billy Kidman, but the match just would have been better if it was against Billy Kidman. Wouldn't it?
I think it was just too slow. I think they tried to do too much chain wrestling. This should have been a short match where it was just Rey Mysterio.
Like compared to Rey's match against Kurt at SummerSlam.
I would have basically just had Rey win in 2 minutes against like a Tajiri. I don't say bury someone, but just someone that isn't really relevant. Have him win in 2 minutes where he just hits all his big moves.
Chavo Guerrero's relevant, isn't he?
He's big time relevant. No, but I don't know. Having Rey coming in, you're trying to showcase Rey Mysterio, and most of the match, it's like Chavo locking in like sleeper holds and shit. It's like...
Boring. Rey Mysterio, though, he's got a towel around his neck. Tess sees him. Rey's like, big guy. And then Tess waits till he turns his back, picks him up, and just throws him against the shot, and it makes the sound of his theme song.
Booyaka, booyaka.
You know, it's like the that's what it was.
Big. I like Test. I think the guy's underrated. Speaking of Test, up next, we got Test versus John Cena. John Cena defeats Test with a roll-up, and then Test gives him a big boot for his troubles. That's what you get for beating me, John. Now your teeth's fucked.
Yeah, Big John.
Stephanie McMahon still trying to phone Kurt Angle, still can't get an answer. She's berating him on the phone, leaving him voicemail saying, how could you do this? At least Brock Lesnar had the decency to confront Eric before he left. You have just left the arena and went to join Raw. I mean, did Brock Lesnar really confront Eric? He just happened to be leaving and Eric was there.
If anything, Eric was fucking calling him out and Brock drove off like a shite bag.
Bottled it. But if anything, Brock just happened to be walking out on Bischoff, and Bischoff just happened to be there. It's not like Brock didn't even turn around and acknowledge him.
Yeah.
So what's Stephanie going for here? I think she's talking shite.
I know, come on, Kurt, what are you doing? But up next, main event, steel cage match, Edge, Chris Jericho. Edge did a big hefty blade job in this match. Pretty early on, didn't he?
Yeah, it was too early because by the time he got to the end of the match, there's no blood left.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Or normally when someone blades, there's still a lot of blood by the end of the match. But I mean, by the time this match finished, there was no blood left. So Edge escaped. Jericho was trying to crawl for the door. Edge was trying to get over the... I guess going for the door seems more like the heel thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, the shite bag option.
Whereas climbing over the cage seems like the more heroic face-like maneuver. Edge does, and I tell you what, it wasn't even close. I think they could have done a better job here of making you think who's going to win this. Edge is already over the top and beginning to climb down, and Jericho's just about barely got his hands outside the cage.
But whose fault's that? Because Edge can see Jericho, but at the same time,
Jericho can't see Edge.
But Edge can't slow down to a point to let Jericho catch up where it just looks ridiculous. But
I mean, listen, Edge has got the advantage here where he can just let go of the cage anytime and drop and win. Edge can win in a second. Jericho, for where he's lying flat on his stomach and barely got his hands outside the cage door, it's going to take him a lot longer to get out. So you just knew who was winning this.
No, you did.
Unless it was like Nash climbing down and Nash can't afford to drop.
Aye.
Then I'd give Jericho the advantage, or Hogan. But someone who athletic as Edge, he can just drop and land on his feet.
20 feet. The Un-Americans come
Or
out
Mick
though.
Foley can just throw himself after the announce table. So
You're goddamn right, but the Un-Americans, man. Un-Americans come out, they're throwing a beat down to a fellow Canadian, but he likes America, so fuck him.
there's 5 Canadians in the ring here.
I know, 5 Canadians.
Big John though is not liking it. He comes to make the same. Imagine Edge just turned on him. John Cena gets in the ring, then it's a 5-on-1
What do you
beat.
say about my teeth all about?
So John Cena's trying to help, but the numbers game's still against him. And then Rey Mysterio makes his run down to the ring. He climbs up the cage and he makes a big diving crossbody off the steel cage onto the Un-Americans. And I guess this ties in with Test attacking him backstage. And then we see
It was a good spot, him jumping. I was wondering why they didn't have Rock and Hogan, but it would have just took the shine off the new guys. That's why they didn't.
yeah.
I understand. If Rock and Hogan come out here, hit a leg drop, my rock bottom, do you think we care about the fact that Ray jumped the cage and Cena was there?
And Michael Cole did put over that this was the future of SmackDown that we were seeing.
Yeah.
And I think he's right. Edge, Cena, and Ray.
And considering Rock and Hogan will be away after SummerSlam.
Yeah, they're not really the future of SmackDown, are they? So
And Hulk Hogan's about 90, so yeah.
yeah, 90. Then we see Eric Bischoff. There was showed you a lot of time, Edge and Cena and Ray celebrating in the back. Finally, we get Stephanie McMahon approaching this limo. Eric Bischoff doesn't get out. Then he pops his head up the top. He says, "Hiya, Steph. I told you that SmackDown's loss would be Raw's gain." He then says, "Isn't that right?" to the person in the limo. I guess the person in the limo agrees, but we don't see them. We don't hear them. Stephanie wants the person to get out. But Eric Bischoff's like, "Nah, we'll see you on Monday." And they drive off in the limo. And we don't even get the reveal of who the person was. But you know what? I think a lot happened on this show tonight that I can accept that.
I can't wait. Who is it going to be?
It'd be like if the show was basically built around who's it going to be, then I think you need to show them. But the fact that there was so much other shit happening, I'm okay with the person not being revealed.
Yeah.
But I think we can rule out everybody in the ring. We can rule out all the Un-Americans. Can rule out The Rock because he's champ. And we can rule out Hogan just for the fact we know he doesn't go to Raw. So yeah, no, for me, I can't really think of it being anybody big.
Yeah, neither can I, to be honest. But
Rico,
he does go, actually. Could be him.
Mark Henry.
Angle's there with his wee towel, and she's like, "Kurt, I've been trying to get a holiday." He's like, "Yeah? And? You're not in the limo?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was taking a shower." He's like,
I was talking to my brother Eric.
"Ah, that's Eric, but if you're not in the limo, then who's in the limo?" Dum, dum, dum.
It was weird because Stephanie was like, at first she was relieved to see Angle because she knew that wasn't him in the limo. But then she's worried because if it's not Angle in the limo, then who is it?
Exactly.
I would just be grateful it's not Angle.
Yeah. Like, who could it realistically be to be worse than Angle? Like, actually, like, realistically, there's not many people. But this show was very good. We gave Raw a 9. I'm going to give SmackDown a 9.
I'm giving it a 9 as well. Very good episode of SmackDown. Probably easily the best week I think we've seen since the brand split.
18 out of 20. I would fucking kill for wrestling to be that good now.
I mean, you could probably add up all the shows we do for a month and then we get 18.
Exactly, guys. But anyway, that is us. Done with this review. We'll be back very soon. We are heading towards SummerSlam. But until next time, peace.